Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my third update to my Pan That Palette and my BYOP for 2025. The creator of Pan That Palette is of course Amber F, who's linked down below, and Jessica and Dana are the creators of BYOP, who I've also linked down below. I've got a really exciting one today. I've reached a milestone, we'll talk about that. And then second, I also thought it would be really fun to dupe my Pan That Palette. I hold back on using something up because I kind of start to get this mentality where I think, what if I run out? Then I can never replace it. So I thought it might be a good idea to dupe my Pan That Palette so that I have assurance that there is in fact every single shade in my Pan That Palette still in my collection. So I can go ahead and use that up. So my Pan That Palette for this year is the Black Cherry palette by Barry M. I feel like I've chosen really well this year because I am making great progress in here. Just to put it into context, last year I was panning a palette that I had started panning the year before and it's still here. This one, I have hope that I can do it for this year. I'm gonna show you some slides now so you can see the development of what this palette has been looking like in my intro versus update number 1 and then update number 2. So one of the goals that I set out at the start of this project was to hit pan in every single shadow by spring. Officially, it isn't spring yet, even though it feels a lot like that now because it's not the 20th of March yet. Right. So I wanted to hit pan in the remaining 2 shadows, Bakewell and Juiced, and I also put a usage goal on Ripen, that top shadow in that same column, and I wanted to use Ripen at least 5 times. And I'm super happy to tell you and show you that I have managed to hit these goals. So here's what my palette is looking like today. Let's go through those 2 new pans. So the one I hit first is Juiced. You can see that's definitely bigger already because I have continued to use it. And I hit pan on Juiced, that beautiful pink, slightly satiny matte shadow on the 20th of February after 20 uses. As for Bakewell, so this brown, cool toned brown matte shadow here, I hit pan on that on the 2nd of March after 29 uses. So that was definitely the hardest pan for me to hit in this project. Of course, there was a little bit of prior use on most of these shadows, not on Bakewell, although the footage that you're seeing of this shadow is after I had swatched it out for you in my intro. So yeah, 1 swatch. The second hardest shadow to hit pan on was Poison, which I managed to do last time, and that was after 25 uses. So yeah, quite a little, 4 extra uses on Bakewell here. I also managed to expand the pan on Ripen. I have hit my 5 uses goal, but let's go through the uses on each of these shadows one by one, and then I'm going to show you how I duped it from within my collection, and then we'll get into the BYOP or Build Your Own Palette update. First up, I'm going to give you some weight differences as well because I forgot to mention that last time. I'm currently at 92.12 grams, and in the intro I had 94.37 grams. So I've used up 2.25 grams. And that's pretty much in 2 months. 2 months and 1 day. These pans are advertised as 1.5 grams per pan, but one of you lovely people have done some research for me and found out that even though on the website it says 1.5 grams, I don't think it's on here. I can't tell, I've put like a sticker over it to tally my uses with. But anyway, yeah, one of you said no, it's 1.0 grams in each of these pans here. So if I'm using up about a pan of shadow every month, then potentially I could be done after 9 months, which would bring me to October. Let's do the total uses. So with Ripen, I wanted to use this shadow 5 times. I used it 6 times. And that's a total of 12 uses on the shadow now. This shadow is so easy to use and the pan expansion is so satisfying to me. Yeah, I think it was a good idea to have this as a focus shadow. I really enjoyed it on top of a purple base. I tried it yesterday on top of a, sort of, this type of colored cream base. The e.l.f. No But Shadow Stick in Perfect Pearl because if you don't know, I'm on a 30-day makeup bag challenge right now, so I've limited myself to 23 makeup items within my collection, this palette being one of them, and my purple Kiko cream eyeshadow pen that I still have is not in that. So yeah, it worked, but I think I'm gonna have to adapt how I blend out the crease. I had a orangey matte from my level 2 palette, and then I put Juiced on the lower lash line, and I think I'm gonna have to like sort of chill out on the reds with that because it looked a little bit like I was unwell almost, you know. So I'm gonna have to still play around with that. But I think, yeah, I'm only on day 4 of this challenge, so plenty of opportunity to play around with Ripen to see if I like that on top of the non-purple base. But yeah, 12 uses, okay. Glacé inner corner highlight type of shadow, 21 uses since my last update. Definitely some pan expansion as well. And I'm at a total of 64 uses now. Cherry Tart, I'm wearing this all over my lids today, but yeah, on top of the shimmery e.l.f. shadow stick in this type of color. Cherry Tart I've used 11 times, and that's 38 uses in total. Bakewell I've used 14 times, and that's 32 uses in total, so I've used it 3 more times since hitting pan. Sour, I've got 4 uses on this shadow and 14 uses in total. With Wild, I've got 2 uses here and 6 in total. I am focusing on this one now, believe it or not, because I have figured out a look that I really like with Wild in the outer corner, and I'm wearing that in my intro for my 30-day makeup bag challenge, which I'm going to link here for you. So yeah, I'm expecting there to be much more use on Wild now, which really excites me because I always said this was my least exciting shadow in this palette. Basically, I'm combining it with a minty look, and it looks super lovely, at least I think so. Right, so yeah, just 6 uses for now, but I'm hoping to be able to almost double that for the next time, maybe more. And then Juiced, I've got 11 uses on here since my last update, and that's 29 uses in total. So I've used it 9 more times since hitting pan. Bitter, I've only used twice, and I've got 6 uses in total. And Poison, I've got that on the outer corner today, 7 uses, and that's 34 in total. I'm not quite ready yet to focus on finishing an eyeshadow. Initially I thought, oh, maybe I could, you know, focus on Juiced, or maybe Ripen would make sense because it's definitely the biggest pan. Let's hold it here. But if you look, say Ripen was gone, you know, it really something is missing from this color story then. Or imagine Juice not being there. It just looks so different, or even Wild. But I thought, and you know, Cherry Tart and Glacé aren't really options for me because I use them, or Poison either actually, because this is such a good outer corner shadow. This is a good crease cleaning up type shadow. Really nice inner corner shadow. I think it makes sense to focus on either of these brown mattes here. And I'm thinking Bakewell first, even though it was the last pan I hit and therefore kind of hard. But the pan expansion isn't too terrible. It's lighter than Bitter, and I can also combine it. Oh no, hang on, I'm wearing Bitter and Wild in that look. Yeah, and then Bakewell to blend out the crease. So these 3 shadows are in that minty brown bronzy look that I'm doing. I just want to make this my focus shadow. I think working one of the brown mattes out first is going to have the least impact on how this palette looks overall. And I do like this color story. To me, this looks inspiring, and I think getting rid of my favorite shadows first would make it look more boring to me, and therefore not as motivating perhaps to get through this fast. So yeah, I'm going to try and do Bakewell as a focus shadow with just a usage goal of 10 uses minimum, and then I think I'm going to do 5 uses on everything else as a minimum. I hope I can do it. All right, here's that. Now I hope you enjoy my little duping intermezzo. And here's my update for my BYOP. So just so you're aware, there are 5 shadows in here, 2 complexion products and 3 Franken eyeshadows. The Franken eyeshadows are currently not in my 30-day makeup bag challenge. I've popped them back in here so I can update you. there's not a ton of uses on here, and there probably won't be a ton of use on them going forward either, but that's okay. This is a very low-key project for me, just a bit of fun. I ideally want to rotate through my singles through this, and also with the two face products in here, I would like to just make as much progress as possible. So they are still, you know, I've got a blush topper and a Franken bronzer in here. They're still very much part of this 30-day challenge. So I've got access to them. I'm wearing both of them today. So those numbers are a bit more satisfying, although they don't look it. But yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, here's a picture of what my BYOP looked like at my last update. And here it is today. Okay. So for my Kiko single eyeshadow, which I'm using as a blush topper, I've got 11 uses on here for a total of 40 uses. The Sisley and Bare Minerals bronzer here, I've got 10 uses on here since my previous update, and that's 27 uses in total. On this silver Franken eyeshadow, I have 1 extra use, and that's 5 uses in total. And then the blue, I've got 1 use on here, 2 in total. The purple, 0 uses, and that's 3 in total. Bear in mind that these two came in at updates 1 and 2. I think update 1 and update 2 respectively, yeah. So only this one has been in here since the intro. I mean, 5 total users, you know, it's hardly anything to shout about, but still more than these other two. Yeah, we'll have to find out what happens, what insights I'm getting, what decisions I'm making as part of my 30-day makeup bag challenge. But I feel like a lot of my eyeshadow projects are going to change. That's how I'm feeling right now. I mean, that's the whole reason why I put myself on the 30-day challenge right now, as opposed to waiting it out, is because the initial thought was I need to change all of my eyeshadow projects and pause most of it. Anyway, you can find out more about that once I do my finale on that. La la la. But just to give you a little update, Pan That Palette and BYOP, as it stands right now, I'm going to continue with. I'm only on day 4 of this challenge. I'm still waiting to assess everything properly. I'm having such a Venus retrograde moment, but yeah, it's an interesting time right now. I'm really having a lot of fun, but it's interesting. I just feel like there's a lot of change happening internally as well. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I hope you're having a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. I hope you subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.